Thank you so much, Professor Raphael, for your detailed introduction. Good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Deukhoon Peter Han from KMI, Korea Maritime Institute. Today, I want to share Korea's experience tackling IUU fishing and how that connects to our work supporting small-scale fisheries at home and also abroad. I hope that this slide and this presentation can share some useful ideas for all of you. And before I get into today's my main topic, I would like to briefly introduce about the Korean Maritime Institute for those who might not know my institute. KMI is established under the Korean Prime Minister's office, and we are researching all about the sea, marine environmental, fisheries, aquaculture, and shipping and port and logistics. And we are researching also ODA and maritime security, and even to polar area research. And we are social scientists, so we are trying to develop new policies regarding oceans and fisheries, and we provide to them, to the government, especially to the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries. And most of our research and work is cooperated with the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries. Okay, for today, I will cover three chapters. First, the governance framework around IU fishing and of Korea, and second, the concrete step Korea has taken legally and institutionally, and third, how we are cooperating with the partners around the world. Let's get into it. Just a quick uh, picture of Korea, very small by land, about 100,000 square kilometers, but our EZ is over 440,000 square kilometers, more than four times than our land area. And 15,000 kilometers of coastline, 3,400 islands, and 115 national fishing port. But including local small fishing port, it is over 1,000 fishing ports alongside the Korean peninsula, South Korean area. And Korea's GDP is 1.9 trillion dollars. It's ranked 13th in the world. So this means the sea isn't just geography for Korean people. It is related to the Koreans' livelihood and responsibility and identity as well. Korea's fisheries sector produces nearly 4 million tons per year, and it's valued at around 10.2 trillion Korean won, or roughly 7.6 billion US dollars. And it rests on four pillars: coastal and offshore fisheries, aquaculture and distant water fisheries, and processing and distribution. In these days, aquaculture is the largest segment for Korean, but distant water, tuna, squid, and pollock and krill is where our IU governance story really begins. Korea's fisheries history mirrors the country's broader development. Post-war food security drove coastal fishing in 1950s and 60s, and by the 1980s, we were fishing across the globe. The 1990s brought UNCLOS EZ regime, as you know, and there was a turning point toward resources management. And then from 2010s, the focus shifted to the IU elimination, and then digital monitoring and small-scale fisheries support. A long colonization by Japan and Korean War broke out in 1950s during 3 years, and there was nothing left in Korea to maintain for the food security or subsistence. Korea was a very poor country at the time, but my senior generation does not stay in that situations. But I think fishery was a very important breakthrough and backbone of the Korean economy at that times. I would like to just introduce a short story about the Korean, how Korean distant water fisheries started. In 1957, a vessel called Jinam left Busan port for the Indian Ocean. That was Korea's very first distant water voyages. Jinam vessel means directing south fisheries vessel. And then by 1966, Ganghwa vessel arrived in Atlantic Ocean in the Gran Canaria, Las Palmas port. From that situation, it has been 60 years, and then from the first 70 years, so we are celebrating in Korea. The related association and industry is celebrating the anniversary. Today, Korea operates 199 distant water fishing vessels and 28 carrier vessels all over the ocean, and we target tuna, sauri, squid, pollock, and toothfish and krill as well. Total production is nearly 400,000 tons annually, and we has bilateral fishing agreements in with 13 coastal states. So I will just talk about the governance, IU fishing and governance issues, but it is about the IU fishing related, but I'm also generally fisheries related. As we last 3 days deal with these issues, we have an international instrument, binding or non-binding, hard law and soft law. All of that is related to the Korean governance issues. Okay, for the domestically, Korea's legal architecture is very comprehensive. First of all, a framework act on fisheries and the Fisheries Act and also Fisheries Resources Management Act from the foundation, very important. For the distant water operation, distant water Fisheries Development Act, which is DWFDA, is a primary instrument. And then also vessel safety law and EJET foreign fishing regulation and seafarers' rights regulations and is very important. And it's all interlocking system covering full life cycle of fishing operations. You can see this slide, and then this year we had a new law, Sustainable Coastal Offshore Fisheries Law, and it is enacted this year and then make effective next year, and it replaces the old framework with a sustainability first approach. So it includes mandatory resources recovery plan and vessel buyback schemes and no more new license in overfished zones and electronic reporting system for coastal vessels. These targets are very ambitious. 20% reduction in fishing fleet overcapacity by 2030 and maximum sustainable yield for key species by 2035. It expressly aligned with the FAO voluntary guideline of small-scale fisheries. I think this is a very important legislation, and it is Korea's most significant coastal fisheries renovation and reform in decades. For small-scale fisheries especially, two fundamental laws are key. Fisheries Act defines fishing rights, and it recognizes fishing village cooperatives as a collective rights holder. This is community-based Okay. Okay. No problem. Okay, so this is domestic regulation regarding fisheries right and then fishing right and then cooperative rights. So this fishing village cooperatives right is actually traditional right, but it built into the legislation. So it's quite notable. And this in domestic regulation, Fisheries Resources Management Act includes total allowable catch systems and stock assessment and minimum size juvenile fishing catch limitation. Okay. This shows Korean institutional cooperation on IUU fishing. So Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries and Korea Coast Guard and National Institute of Fisheries Science and KMI, KIOST and FIPA, Busan Ports Authority and KOMSA, FIRA, KOFA, all these institutions is cooperating to make the legislation and regulation is working. Now we will see how Korea is actually made action against IUU fishing. And then we will see 3 cases regarding the yellow card from EU and then from US. In January 2013, the US placed Korea on preliminary list of IUU fishing. A Korean fishing vessel had they alleged that the Korean fishing vessel had illegally caught toothfish in Camilla area. 10 months later, the EU also designated Korea as a non-cooperative third countries, and citing no mandatory VMS and no functioning FMC. These were very painful and very serious moment for Korea, but Korea responded very fast. So we changed the legal regulation very quickly, and both designation was lifted by April 2015. And then also a brief US relisted in 2019 as Korea was involved in another illegal activities. So, but at the time, we also changed the law, and then especially we adopted the administrative fines, which can be very swift penalties on the offender. So, in that way, the designation was lifted. So, as you can see, the FAO PSMA, the ratification was done in 2016, and before that ratification, we already incorporated that provision in our related law. And also, the VMS and catch document system was adopted at the time, and also I'm introducing about the legal reforms. So, and then also very strict provision on possessing and distributing and processing or selling illegally caught fish is prohibited under both the Fisheries Act and the Stonewater Fisheries Development Act. And also we make it vitalized the International Observer Program. As you can see, for the Stonewater fisheries, they need to get an international observer to monitor and record and report. So we make it vitalized these programs after the cases. And then since 2019, these Stonewater operators also must designate one safety manager on board. There is obligation to secure the safety of the vessel and then fishers on this Stonewater fishing vessel. And also as a deterrent, penalties were dramatically enhanced. Administrative fines up to 5 times catch value and 8 times for repeating offenders. And also we have criminal penalties up to 5 years imprisonment or fines up to 1 billion Korean won, about 700,000 US dollars. The message is very clear: IUU fishing doesn't pay. So I just briefly talked about this one, while because we all know this is very hazardous and then very dangerous. While we are fishing, we can use the explosives or hazardous substances. So this is incorporated in the related law in Korea. Okay, for chapter 3, I will deal with Korea's regional cooperation, and including I will deal with some international cooperation issues as well. Before getting into that, I would like to briefly introduce Korea and China and Japan fisheries agreement. Under the Korea-China fisheries agreement in 2000, we run a joint patrol in the provisional measure zone annually. Chinese vessel arrests peaked at 568 in 2015, but it was dropped sharply during the COVID-19 situation. But it also again has risen again since 2021, often with resistance and violence. In 2023, both country government agreed to mandatory mutual notification of investigation result for each country. So I think the progress is making on, and progress is real, but the challenge is also still ongoing. The next one is Korea-Japan Fisheries Agreement. The Korea and Japan fisheries relationship goes back to 1965. The 1998 agreement updated the framework, but it was suspended in 2016. And the joint management system is actually, to be honest with you, no longer active at this moment. This is a very gap that needs to be addressed in the future at this moment. And resuming negotiation is in the interest of both countries' fishers and sustainability of shared stocks. Now I will talk about Korean ODA and its support to fisheries, especially small-scale fishing development. Korea's overall ODA budget in 2025 stands at the 4.8 billion US dollars across 41 Korean agencies and nearly 2,000 projects included in here. Within that, fisheries ODA covers resources management, IUU fishing response, and fishing village development, and aquaculture, and capacity building as well. Especially small-scale fisheries cooperation. Example is like this. Ghana Fisherwoman Capacity Building Program in processing, fisheries processing and distribution, and fisheries infrastructure project in Tuvalu, and fishing port and market development in Senegal as well, and also landing site improvements in Kiribati. KMI is interested, and then it's KMI's role to implement these things, because we have in KMI we have ODA Center, Ocean and Fisheries, and it is designated by MOF as a special agency for MOF's all ODA programs, which is grant aid program. As you might know, KOICA take charge of all the Korean grant aid program. But in addition to that, each ministry, also including MOF, also has and implement its grant aid program. So KMI's role is to plan and support and manage and evaluate MOF's all ODA program to support it to accomplish its purpose and intended outcomes. Here is a visual overview of MOF's ODA strategy, organized around the 4 pillars. First one is climate change responses, and second one is fisheries and aquaculture development support, and third one is marine environmental conservation, and third one, the very important thing is capacity building and training. We call it Korea Ocean Economy Initiatives. So under this initiative and under this vision, all Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries ODA program is implementing and planning and to try to expand under this umbrella. This slide shows the first pillar, the climate change responses. So you can see the transition to support the transition to green shipping, or the marine climate research and data sharing, or other things, or ocean acidification responses in the Pacific Island oceans. So that kind of all project is implemented at this moment. And this is the second one, fisheries and aquaculture development support. So we can see the catfish program is also supported by this spirit. And also we have a program with the FAO, Port State Measure Agreement training program is regularly implementing in Vigo, Spain, and also Imli, Malta, and also Busan, South Korea. So we think this is very important. Catfish program and the FAO program is also very important. And also in the middle, you can see some program support the fishing communities, and also you can see the aquaculture development programs as well. And third one is marine environmental conservation support. So the pollution and then trashes in the ocean is a big problem. So we support through IUCN or PAMC. Even PAMC, first they use Amy, and then we have some program to support to eliminate that the marine pollution to the Timor-Leste and Philippines. And we are trying to develop the sustainable tourism development program. We don't have at this moment, not yet, but in future we want to develop this program. And also MPA, we are interested about, we know that under the BBNJ agreement, in world high seas, 30% of the world high seas, the MPA will be established. That is target. So Korean government is also interested about to support that program. And the last one is a capacity building program. So you can see the seafarers onboard program in Busan. We have KIMFT, that is a training institute. So it is very short course, maybe 2 months course, and then provide some onboard practical training to support, to get them, the young students, to get a certificate. This is Ghana Fisherwoman Capacity Building Program in Processing and Distribution. Last year, when we have a catfish program in Ghana, after we completed the catfish project, we visited this local site. As you know, the Ghana capital is the Accra, but the 1 hour from Accra, there is a Tema fishing port, and like the Angela talked about that the fishing in here, Ghana, and like other West African countries, fishing is implemented mostly by men, but after landing of fisheries, woman is taking charge of processing and distribution in the fisheries market. So Ghana government requests to Korean government that some support is necessary for the fisherwoman and fisherwomen's association in Tema. So the main idea is they want to change the traditional the smoking facilities as a more hygiene and then clean facilities, and then also they want to have some capacity building program using the renovated facilities. So we are supporting them at this moment from 2023 to next year, and then eventually we want to develop master plan for Ghana fisherwomen can make more money and secure food security and promote sustainable fisheries throughout this program. So, but we know that it's just one program, and then we hope to expand to other area in Ghana, or hopefully maybe some other countries like other countries. And this is a regional cooperation also program, Pacific Observer Training Program. So as I mentioned before, for the distant water fisheries, we need to secure international observers on board. So main idea is not only Koreans go out there and then implementing observer role, but also we want to hire local observers over there. So the idea is inviting some students from the Pacific countries and training them, and then after that they are getting back their home. They can get some position in the not only Korean distant water fisheries but also other fishery fishing vessels as well. So this is implementing at this moment as well. It's a little bit blur, but then you can see in this year under the Korean Ocean Economy Initiative, we are implementing this actually MOFU's ODA program like this country. In partnering with other cooperative countries, we are implementing these all programs very well. So we are very happy. And also you can see some program with Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia, and the Sri Lanka, like the ASEAN countries. But if it is possible, we want to have another program with the ASEAN countries as well. So the final message in conclusion, the Korea's IUU policy is advancing on two fronts. I think in distant water fisheries, international regulation compliance and vessel monitoring is very important. And in coastal and offshore fisheries, catch reporting and designated fishing port landing and traceability is very important. And internationally, ODA connects to fishing communities worldwide. I think Catfish is a platform where all of this can come together for knowledge sharing, cooperative project, and building a next generation of fisheries governance. So I think this is pretty much it I prepared for today. Thank you so much for your attention, and Deukhoon and 감사합니다. Thank you.